to win. I'm not convinced actually that we actually had Chris Ryan there, so I think he's just taking it. And I think fantastic move. Second place is the other TBR Grand Tour of Chris Ryan. So John has maybe stakeholders have heard been some kind of aggressive. Tom Smith has got past John, so it's all well with the Cordwell car. Let's hear.
Oh, I think that sounds slightly rumbly with that number 300 TBR. What a shame then. So John Cordwell down to 4th position then as the round riches for the first time. Just in terms of the rest of that top 10 then, so number 881 Mark Campbell has made his way up through the field, so he's 5th, so that's a space up. Wilmot down the position, but then Hughes and Webman rounding out the top 8. But yeah, interested to see the TBR working its way down the field, Paul.
Yeah, as I say, I'm quite slightly with you. I'm not convinced that car sounded 100% as it went past, and certainly we've seen a bit of a power advantage for Tom Smith on the MGB as they came out of Murray's. That's pure power because that's pure acceleration. So just looking now at the field, so it is Chris Ryan in 2nd. Then Morgan is just starting to ease away. And yeah, this isn't the script really, is it? Mark Ellis has come in, and we've seen Morgan's go very well, particularly in the hands of the Wendmans. But yeah, red and black Morgan is now leading the field.
He's got a useful advantage there, just around the second. But Tom Smith has definitely made up time on Chris Ryan through the infield section, so clearly very, very quick. Going through Hamilton, now going into Oggy's then the leaders. So it is that red and black Morgan then of Mark Ellis that still leads the race with Chris Ryan and Tom Smith. But John Cordwell has been dropped by that first 3. So yeah, it did sound slightly misfire as it's past the start-finish line, Paul. Let's see if John Cordwell continues or not.
That's right, it's interesting because he didn't get the getaway off the line, and then it sort of picked up in that, like, to use that horrible Formula 1 phase, the second phase. But so he led into the first corner, just wondering if there is something not quite right. So something from the red band. Backside to all the crowd down at Murray, great to watch. But John Cordwell is definitely losing time. Let's see if John comes into the finish. Let's see now, no escapes out there. So the TBR is running some horsepower properly. Passing a straight line then by number 881, which is Mark Campbell. So Mark Campbell having a great race up into 4th position then. So he's into 4th, and actually looks as though Wilmot is taking 5th place. So that's right. So that's the other TBR Grand Tour then. Of Jack Wilmot is up into 5th place, so unfortunately John Cordwell's 6th, not all well with the TBR. No, that's a big shame, isn't it, to be honest. It's does cause this lovely little battle there. We've got 3 different marks there. In fact, we've got 4 marks in the first place. The first 4 rows, we've got a Morgan, we've got a TBR, we've got an MGB, and we have a Triumph up there in the first 4 positions. So whoever wrote his regs got it just about right, didn't they? But yeah, you see he's just tumbling down at the order break. Another couple of places on the run down from Wilson, Douglas, Palmer.
Real shame. But in terms of the times then, so these cars, the fastest cars in qualifying yesterday were doing 2:21s. Well, guess what? Mark Ellis is already doing 2:21s in the leading Morgan. 2:21.726. Very, very quick for a second lap of a 20-minute race. But if I was a gambling man, of which I used to be, I'd say that Chris Ellis is catching the Morgan. So Chris Ellis is definitely making inroads into that lead. Chris Ryan, apologies, Chris Ryan in the TBR. So Chris Ryan in 2nd position, really starting to eat into that advantage, slightly leaving Tom Smith behind, but then a big gap, of course, then to Campbell, Cordwell, Wilmot et al. As part of the second gaggle of these pre-66 cars, Paul.
It is, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Chris Ryan is very, very good, a very, very good driver. In fact, I thought Chris Ryan coming from corner. time. So the ball comes up the line then. And it's back to 1.6 minutes. Chris Ryan then to 21.651. So the TBR is picking up the pace. That gap at the front is 2 seconds. They have slightly dropped Tom Smith, who's back in 2.23. But it looks still Wilmot's going down the inside pole position. No, he doesn't. So he did Mark Campbell then. It still remains in pole position as we're going into Richards. And that's a move for position. That's a great move from John Hughes. He was talking about the pitch being well sorted. That's the power of the blue engine. And he is now up in 6th position. So he's having a great battle with the Wegmans.
Yeah, John Hughes wants to be confused with the famous American filmmaker of that name. So
Breakfast Club. What do I have for breakfast, of course?
Pretty Pete, first move to stay up. You want to play this game?
Not at all.
Having a baby? You go on forever. But yeah, no, fantastic to get a sheer variety of cars. The lead pair was so closely matched on lap times the last time out, with just the fraction of advantage to our race leader, Mark Ellis.
So they're actually just been negotiating some traffic there, so they've actually come past the 404 machine of Russell Sheet. So Mark has been able to put a bit of a gap there on Chris Ryan. So I think that gap has slightly extended as they've gone through Oggies for what is now the 4th time on the race. So they've dropped Tom Smith, but Tom Smith lapping very, very consistently in the 222s, 223s, which in all honesty, Paul, is where he was yesterday. So the top 3 then remain.
I think that's just about as fast as that MGB is actually going to go around it, which is possibly what I think you could probably say about all that lead group. There is not a lot being left on the locker.
Yeah, and I think the 300, by the way, so the TBR Grand Show has started on Look at this battle going past the line there. So number 881, of course that's Campbell, it's Will Reed is behind it. No, in fact it's Wilmot, apologies. And it's Mark Campbell that retains that 4th position in the 881 machine, but that is a very key battle between him and Jack Wilmot.
So everyone out there has someone to face themselves against, someone to race against. Chris Ryan again just starting to fall back a little bit, that gap down to up to 2.7 seconds last time around that one. Dennis in the Morgan, absolutely pushing lap by lap.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because of course the Morgan and Mark Evans set the fastest lap of the race in the previous lap, so at 2:21.311, and that's a full 8/10 quicker than Chris Ryan's TBR, which means the gap has been extended to 2.7 seconds. So really great bit of driving actually then by Mark Ellis, because he was able
to 3rd consecutive fastest race lap.
That's
so
right.
He's absolutely on it.
But he was also negotiating traffic, which he managed to both pass traffic and then put it between him and Chris Ryan. So great piece of racecraft there from the Morgan up front. So great to see. But battles all across this circuit anyway. And again, we're just looking again. That man John Hughes is in the thick of it. But so are Wilmot and Campbell. In fact, Wilmot has passed Campbell. So Wilmot is up into 4th position. They've been battling all day long. Oh, just have a quick look at that time. Yeah, both back to 2:25.
Drivers will know them definitively how long we have got left in the race, but there's going to be a scenario where probably Mark Ellis is that gap slowly grows rather than slowly on TBR against 2.1 litres on the front. Chris Ryan really wanted to do something that time.
So he actually clawed back 8/10 of a second on that lap. I think he had to go take John Caldwell. Yeah.
that time round. Top speed MGB. And it's more places there.
Jack Wilmot's in front of Mark Campbell in the 881, and it's the Wendman machine, so it's Andrew Wendman that's driving the Morgan Plus 4, and he's into 6th place now. In fact, no, he's not. So Will Reed has got passed through, so the MGB is now in front of the Morgan again, and then it's John Hughes, not to be mixed up with any American film directors.
Going on almost all race, and there's not so much of that going on. Just looking quickly down, so yeah, we've got Ellis out front. I'm just trying to see who is not missing 10th, then working his way up.